Belmont University under fire. Conservative attacks on DEI programs and immigration policies. Shocking discovery. A university built on conservative Baptist foundations is now facing fierce criticism from some of its staunchest political allies. But here's where it gets controversial. Top Trump supporters are accusing Belmont University of both obstructing federal immigration law and injecting anti-gospel diversity initiatives into its curriculum. And this is the part most people miss. The so-called undocumented students at issue actually graduated from American high schools and earned the grades needed to enroll in one of Tennessee's more expensive and academically rigorous private institutions. Belmont's ties to the Republican establishment run deep. The current governor of Tennessee, Bill Lee, once sat on the university's board of directors. A former speaker of the Republican-controlled state house taught as an adjunct professor. The dean of its law school is Alberto Gonzalez, who served as U.S. Attorney General under President George W. Bush. And Belmont Medical School bears the name of Thomas Frist Jr., co-founder of the hospital giant HCA and brother of former Senate Majority Leader Bill Frist. Yet in recent weeks, U.S. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem and Congressman Andy Ogles of Culleoka have leveled two major accusations that Belmont is obstructing federal immigration enforcement and that it has violated President Trump's executive order banning diversity, equity, and inclusion (DEI) programs at federally funded institutions. Noem claims the university failed to report students without permanent legal status. Ogles has gone even further, urging the U.S. Department of Education to launch an investigation and demanding that any federal funding to Belmont be cut off if the allegations prove true. The spark for these charges was a video published by a conservative news outlet. That footage, which appeared to be edited, showed a Belmont staff member describing the school's inclusive outreach efforts to prospective students, including some who lack legal residency. Critics seized on those remarks as evidence of wrongdoing. The supporters point out that these young people passed through high school successfully and met the admissions bar, so it isn't clear how they completed their courses. This is where Ogles got fired up. In recent weeks, U.S. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem have leveled two major accusations. That Belmont is obstructing federal immigration enforcement and injecting anti-gospel diversity initiative into its curriculum. Noem claims the university failed to report students without permanent legal status. Ogles has gone even further, urging the U.S. Department of Education to launch an investigation and demanding to next set close treatment of students. It was originally called the Very Have Been Belmont University from Bill Lee, and it's fallen into personating Spetsley after all universities which end in teach. How did a small Baptist college transform into a battleground for the culture wars? 40 years ago, this campus enrolled about 2,000 students and answered directly to the Tennessee Baptist Convention, which appointed a majority of the board and funded the school. Chapel attendance was mandatory multiple times a week, and seniors were expected to join seminars with deans, rules meant to enforce strict faith-based discipline. Today, Belmont's student body has become a reflection of broader societal changes, illustrating the complex interplay of faith, politics, and education. Rebranded DEI efforts at Tennessee universities exposed. Watch. DEI initiatives have been cleverly rebranded at two universities in Tennessee to navigate around directives from the Trump administration, as revealed by staff members in undercover recordings. In a surprising turn of events, employees from Vanderbilt University and the University of Tennessee were recorded discussing their strategies to rename their diversity, equity, and inclusion (DEI) programs in order to evade restrictions imposed by Republican-led legislation. This revelation raises significant questions about the integrity of these institutions and their commitment to DEI principles. Despite the existence of state and federal mandates aimed at dismantling DEI efforts, university officials have openly acknowledged a calculated approach to repackage these contentious programs under new titles such as access and engagement, and belonging and community. Will Eakin, a coordinator for the University of Tennessee's Access and Engagement Office, described the situation as a strategic game of chess. He stated, "We had to take our current programming and our future programming and make sure that it aligns so that we can do the work that we're trying to do, while also catering to the Department of Education, the federal." He emphasized the importance of using language as a protective tool in this context. Furthermore, the staff at the University of Tennessee expressed pride in their government relations team, which they believe plays a crucial role in guiding faculty or staff on how to navigate the complexities of anti-DEI legislation at both state and federal levels. Eakin remarked, "We have an incredible government relations team, highlighting their expertise in identifying relevant bills and preparing the university accordingly." He noted that the committees and task forces established back in 2020 are still operational, demonstrating a commitment to maintaining DEI initiatives despite external pressures. In light of increasing scrutiny from state officials regarding DEI practices, the university's leadership took proactive measures to ensure that their access and engagement initiatives could continue to thrive. Eakin explained, "So they changed the language so that the state government couldn't put a magnifying glass on us." In 2025, Tennessee lawmakers passed legislation aimed at terminating DEI initiatives at public universities, including the University of Tennessee. In response to the recordings, a spokesperson for the University of Tennessee stated that the individual in the recording does not represent the university's views and that their comments contain significant misrepresentations. The spokesperson asserted, "We reject any insinuation that the university hasn't failed to act in good faith in its efforts to meet all legal requirements. Our commitment remains clear. We are fully compliant with state and federal laws. That our focus continues to be on creating a respectful environment that aligns with our mission of access and success for all students." At Vanderbilt University, an academic coach from the Center for Student Well-Being acknowledged that while the names of their offices may have changed, their DEI missions remain intact. Ivy Carmouche explained, "At one point, different universities were under investigation for their DEI practices, and that's why I think the naming has changed." She emphasized that the center is designed to be a safe space for all students, stating, "Belonging and communities is as close to that DEI work you can probably get. Previously, they were the Center for Social Justice and Identities." When asked if the renamed center still engages in DEI work, Carmouche confirmed, "Yeah, the language will be different because we have to kind of be strategic. But there's a lot of collaborations with them. Casey Potter House, Black Cultural Center, Women's Center, and even in the Women's Center, they're very open and welcoming to all gender identities." A spokesperson from Vanderbilt commented, "We are aware of recent covert recordings by external groups on university campuses nationwide. At Vanderbilt, we are fully compliant with all applicable federal and state laws. Any comments by individual employees that suggest otherwise do not reflect university policy and are being reviewed through appropriate channels." This situation raises critical questions about the future of DEI initiatives in higher education. Are universities genuinely committed to fostering diversity and inclusion, or are they merely playing a game of semantics to avoid political backlash? What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments below. University of Tennessee responds to secret DEI recording controversy. Blackburn versus UT. When does educational access become a political battleground? The University of Tennessee is now at the center of this fiery debate after facing accusations of rebranding controversial diversity initiatives under new labels. But here's where the debate intensifies. State leaders claim these efforts are covert attempts to bypass federal restrictions, a charge the university vehemently denies. Senator Marsha Blackburn ignited the controversy by sending sharply worded letters to 3 Tennessee universities, including UT Knoxville, alleging they've disguised diversity, equity, and inclusion DEI programs under terms like access and engagement. Her claims followed explosive undercover recordings published by Fox News Digital, where staffers appeared to discuss strategies for continuing DEI work under less scrutinized terminology. UT Chancellor Donde Plowman fired back, calling the recordings a misrepresentation of university policies. "Our division of access and engagement exists to break down barriers to education through merit-based support and community partnerships, not to advance hidden agendas," Plowman asserted. She emphasized UT's strict adherence to state and federal laws, a point echoed by UT System President Randy Boyd. In an internal memo, "Let me be unequivocal. Access initiatives are not DEI by another name. Compliance isn't optional, it's foundational." But here's where it gets controversial. Critics argue that renaming UT's diversity-focused office from Diversity and Engagement to Access and Engagement in 2023 was a calculated move to sidestep political pushback. Boyd countered that the shift aligned with UT's land-grant mission to expand opportunities, a noble goal, yet one now clouded by suspicion. The drama deepened as UT launched an independent review of its programs and mandated compliance training for all employees. Meanwhile, Vanderbilt and Belmont Universities, also named in Blackburn's letters, initiated their own probes, with Vanderbilt temporarily reassigning staff amid its investigation. A thorny legal question lingers. Tennessee's one-party consent law allowed the secret recordings, but does this justify covert surveillance of public employees? And with the Trump administration already investigating UT and Vanderbilt over alleged civil rights violations, the stakes for higher education's role in societal debates have never been higher. So where do you stand? Is rebranding DEI a legitimate adaptation to legal constraints or a disingenuous loophole? The answer may shape not just Tennessee's campuses, but the national conversation on education and equity. Share your thoughts below.